Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Strong and Simple podcast. I'm Michelle, and thank you so much for tuning in today. Whether you are a first time listener or you've been with Marissa and I since the very first episode, so appreciate you being here when you do tune in. So thank you. Today, we have a little mini-sode for you about what I feel are some pretty important questions, maybe the most important questions that you could be asking somebody when you're thinking about hiring them as a personal trainer and or coach. And I think that this is a pretty timely episode, a timely topic, because this time of year seems to be probably the second biggest time of year folks start looking to hire somebody. We have New Year's, we have like that big New Year boom. And then we have this like get ready for summer boom. And while y'all know that I'm not about that diet culture, start training hard now so you can look good on a beach. I believe that all bodies are beach bodies and beach body ready. So just that little disclaimer there. But in the fitness industry, this is a pretty big time when lots of people do start looking for trainers. So whether you are seeking a personal trainer because you are looking to get stronger, because you want to learn a new skill, because maybe you are looking to lose weight, these are some things that you should consider asking somebody before you hire them. And it's important that you are being discerning when you are hiring somebody, because this is somebody you're going to be likely to be working with for 3 or more months. Many trainers actually have like a 3-month minimum kind of contract thing. That's something that you'll want to ask too, but we'll get into that. So you also want to find somebody who you are going to want to work with for a substantial period of time. And 3 months, 6 months, a year is, a pretty good target for how long that relationship could last. Many of the clients that I currently work with, I have worked with for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years. Okay. So these are long lasting relationships, and there's a lot of benefit to that. So making sure that you are comfortable and excited to work with this person is going to be important. So, how do you know if somebody's going to be a good fit for you? The first thing you really need to do is you need to tune into yourself and really figure out what your goals are, what you're looking for, and what kind of support you think you're going to need in order to get you to that goal. So, what do I mean by this? So, you want to get stronger. You want to learn how to work with barbells. You want to learn how to swing kettlebells and maybe snatch a kettlebell. You want to do some fun like kettlebell complexes and kettlebell workouts, right? Maybe you are just looking for general wellness. Maybe you are somebody who is approaching 40 or older and you want to get your bones stronger. You want to maintain and build some muscle mass for healthy aging, right? So all of these things, thinking about what are these goals, right? Then thinking about what kinds of things you need to be successful to reach that goal. Do you need appointments with somebody? Do you need somebody who is super flexible? Like you need to be able to like go and work out on your own time, touch base with somebody when you can. Do you really want like a program in between? Perhaps you're opting in for somebody you're going to do live sessions with. Do you want programming that you do on your own in between sessions? Okay. How much time do you have to work out? How many days a week, right? These are all things you want to start to kind of think about. And these are questions that a coach or trainer that you are potentially interviewing and getting to know to see if you want to hire them should be asking you as well. What's really cool is in the world of online training, most coaches and trainers do like a free complimentary consult or a 20-minute get to know you sort of sitch. That's some I offer that, right? And it's essentially so I can get to know you, you can get to know me, you can ask questions. Not everybody that I do that session with is a good fit to work together. That's okay. Sometimes I'm able to then refer somebody the person who we did the initial consult with, I might be like, you know what, like that's not really the kind of work that I do. That's not I don't know if our schedules are going to mesh, right? And I'll refer somebody to somebody else whom I know is a pretty awesome person, who's an awesome coach, somebody who I trust, and I will make referrals to people, right? So in the world of online training, most coaches and trainers offer some sort of like get to know you complimentary sort of session. If you are working out at a gym, this is often offered to you as your free one-on-one session, like when you enroll at the gym. Usually you enroll at the gym and they're like, hey, now that you enrolled, you get a free one-on-one session. You'll fill out a questionnaire, and then like it's usually like the wellness director or the head trainer or the supervising trainer or whatever will then like look at your questionnaire and try to match make you with a good who they think might be a good fit for you, somebody who specializes in the goals that you specialize, somebody whose schedule is going to align with you. If you're somebody who can only work out between 9 and 1 while your kids are at school, our schedules aren't going to mesh. We wouldn't be a good partnership because I am also teaching during those hours, right? But if you're somebody who loves an early morning sweat session, I got those, right? So finding that person's going to like try to match make you. You'll have your first session, and then during your first session, you can then ask some of these questions we're going to dive into to that person who you've been matched with. So these questions are going to be applicable whether you're looking for like somebody or you found somebody online that you think you want to work with, and or if you're now at a gym and you're looking for a personal trainer at the gym. So the other thing you want to think about is, do you want live sessions? Go back and listen to the episode I did a couple weeks ago where I kind of talked about like what is customized coaching, what is customized programming, what is group programming, what are live sessions, what is remote coaching, right? I tried to really like kind of pull that apart for y'all so you could figure out like what's going to be the most useful to you. If you are working out at a gym and you're doing that complimentary one-on-one session, your sessions are going to be live sessions. So thinking about that, that's going to look a little different than if you found somebody, you're following somebody online and you're like, you know what, I think I want to work with them. You're going to want to find out from them, what does your coaching and training look like? Because not all online coaches do live sessions. So you can do live sessions in person, you can do live sessions over Zoom, right? I do both. Not all trainers do live sessions. Many actually online coaches actually do more of that remote coaching model where they'll give you programming, you'll have connection through like either an app or through text message, through video messaging. You might then have like maybe one like coaching call. So it's not actually a training session, but it's a coaching call once a month. Different folks do different things. They structure their services differently. So if you are somebody who really thrives on having an appointment and you know that you want to show up for an appointment, you want like in real time feedback, you want somebody to be showing you movements in real time and then watching you do those movements in real time, then live sessions are probably going to be the best fit for you. If you're somebody who you are like, I keep making appointments and then I have to cancel them because my schedule is so wacky, and then I feel bad, or you like sign up for like group fitness classes and then you can't make them because you get stuck at work late, and making appointments for live sessions is you're going to run into the same sort of thing. Something with more flexibility, like a remote coaching option, where you can send your coach a video of your deadlifts, and then your coach will send you a video back with some tips and some, advice, or some, maybe there's nothing corrective on there, right? Maybe they're just applauding you and cheering you on. Maybe that is a better fit for you. So that's why at the beginning of this episode, I said you kind of have to think about what kind of support you are going to need in order to reach your goals. And it might take, this is a side note, it might take a little trial and error, especially if you're new and you're not really sure what is going to work best for you. I have had people, and I happen to offer both live sessions in person and over Zoom, as well as just remote coaching option where people, I give them programming, they do their workouts, we connect through text and video messaging, right? And then if they want to add on a live session, we can do that. So I offer both kind of structures because I really try to find what's going to work best for somebody. And I've had people who are like, you know what, I really want the remote structure. And then they find that they're not going to the gym, they're not doing the workouts, they aren't sure about a lot of the movements, right? And they're like, you know what, maybe I need the live sessions. So we switch and we do live sessions, right? And vice versa. Sometimes people sign up and they're like, no, I really want the like face-to-face live session. And then they find that they're like canceling, right? Because their schedule is wacky and it's not working for them. So there can be options where at times of your life, you might kind of ebb and flow. Maybe you are learning how to barbell lift. You want the live sessions that like in real time feedback, that real time modeling of how to work with the barbell. And then after a few months, you might find that you need less live sessions and more of that remote coaching style. So it really all depends and it can change. It can change. So when you're thinking about your goal or goals and you're thinking about what kind of support you need, those are some of the things you want to think about. Again, if you are at a gym, your sessions are probably going to be live in-person sessions with a trainer and more of that, like what we think about as a traditional training paradigm, right? If you're finding somebody online, they might have a couple of different options, or they might just have like one option. Like, this is how I do my coaching. This is how I deliver my coaching and my training. Is it a good fit for you or is it not a good fit for you? And then you have to decide, like, is it a good fit for me? Right? So one of the things you want to also think about is when you're hiring somebody. So thinking about, do you need live sessions? Do you need more of that remote coaching? If you want live sessions and the coach you're hoping to work with does live sessions, either on Zoom and or in person, do they provide programming in between the live sessions? Because this is another thing. Not all trainers who do live sessions then provide a program for you to do in between sessions, right? So if you see your trainer once a week, you might then need to be coming up with your workouts for the rest of the week. So that's a question you want to ask. Will you provide me like homework workouts? Will you provide me independent workouts? Will this follow a structured program? How is this going to help me reach my goal? Or is it going to be the kind of workout where you go in and they just like crush you and then they send you on your way? That can serve its own purpose for some people, but that type of training may not work for you and for what you're hoping to achieve, right? So you want to know what kinds of sessions people are offering. You want to know, is there programming in between the workouts? Do you even want that? Do you want that? Maybe you don't want that. Maybe you go to your trainer twice a week. They work you out twice a week. And then like you don't want programming in between because you've now seen your trainer for your strength training twice a week, right? So these are conversations you want to have with the person who you're hoping to coach you. When you kind of get through that work, or I guess maybe even at the beginning, you want to be asking whoever you're entering this relationship with what their certifications are and what kind of professional development they've recently done, because you want to make sure that you're working with somebody who has certification and has passion to stay on top of, and even if they're not passionate about staying on top of like the latest research, things in the fitness and nutrition world change. There's so much research happening. And that's why this is also why there could be a lot of confusion out there, is because new research shows new things. And then that gets sent out to everybody, like kind of like, do this, not that. It's usually taking research, side note, it's usually taking research done for like very specified circumstances and then trying to push it out to the masses. So it's not always super relevant or super useful to somebody who's looking for like general overall wellness. But you want somebody who can kind of help like weed through that, stay on top of best practices to make sure that you are getting the best that you are paying for. Like this is a service you're paying for, right? So you want to make sure that it's going to work for you, it's going to support you, and that it's somebody who's certified. Especially in the online space, there are a lot of multi-level marketers out there who are online coaches who actually have never taken an anatomy and physiology course in their entire life or class or read a textbook about it, right? Who don't understand what RPE is, or that it's out of their scope if you're having significant knee pain to actually refer you out to a physical therapist, right? You want somebody who's aware, who's ethical, and is staying on top of their certification. Okay. It's also really nice for you to get to know this coach and what they're really passionate about, what they specialize in. There are folks, just like in the world, like the medical field, right? You have like a general practitioner, your primary care physician. They know a little bit about a lot of things, right? Then you have like neurosurgeons. You have, geesh, my brain just went mushy. You have neurosurgeons, you have people who specialize in bones, you have people who specialize in heart surgery, like cardiosurgery, you have oncologists, right? You have all of these like niches in the medical field. Teaching, the world of education, like I am a teacher. I specialize in special education. My best friend is a teacher. He specializes in middle school math, right? So you can like, we're both teachers, but we both have like these little niches that have become our specialties, right? And so it's kind of fun. And this doesn't necessarily mean that a certified coach, a certified trainer couldn't help you with a little bit of everything. But if you are training if you want to learn how to do kettlebells, and like that's like your main goal is to learn how to do kettlebells, you want to know that there's somebody who like loves training people with kettlebells, who has maybe taken an extra course on how to train people safely with kettlebells, right? You want to know that there are trainers who specialize in programming for runners. There are people who specialize in programming for people in menopause. There are people who specialize in working with youth, with kids, right? So it can be really fun to kind of like learn what like lights people up and who they really love training and who they love creating programs for, because that might be the best fit for you now and what you're working on. Some trainers love working with beginners, with people who have never touched a weight before, with people who have never touched a barbell before, with people who have never touched a kettlebell before. That's me. I love working with beginners. Some people really don't. That's not where they thrive. They would prefer to work with taking somebody who's now learned the basics to the next level, right? Or somebody who, different things light different people up. Doesn't mean that coaches can't, like, if your goal is like a little different, it doesn't mean that like somebody who specializes in powerlifting couldn't write you a program as a beginner, but it may not be like what brings them joy, which means you may not be a good fit, or maybe they are like excited to help you. So that's that too. So if you're seeking weight loss, you want to make sure you find a coach who enjoys coaching weight loss. Likewise, if you are somebody who is not seeking weight loss, you want to make sure that the person you're working with is not going to like try to force that agenda on you. That happens a lot because there's a lot of coaches out there who don't even realize that there's like a reason for coaching outside of weight loss. Like, oh, you're coming to me, you want to train, you must want to lose weight. there's like these assumptions, right? And especially in larger gyms, that's how, like, especially the newer trainers are taught to sell for weight loss. So if that's something that you're not looking for, you got to make sure you're like really crystal clear on that. So just a little recap here. You're looking at, are you looking for, does the person you're interviewing, say interviewing, you're having a conversation with the person you're looking to hire to coach you, do they do live sessions? Do they do more of a remote coaching option? Do they do some sort of hybrid? Do they offer programming or workouts in between your live sessions for you to do on your own? If it is live session based, what does communication between you and that coach look like between sessions? Is it a mode of communication that works for you? Do they want you to download 500 different apps? Or is there like one app that you use? Are they just like, just text me? Does that work for you? Right? So thinking about if that mode of communication in between sessions also works for you. Asking the trainer what they're certified in, what professional development they have done, what kinds of training and programs like really lights them up, what do they really love coaching, right? These are all super valid and great questions to ask. If the live sessions, sort of like the online or remote coaching, thinking about like, what does that look like? Can I text you anytime? How quickly do you get back to me? How many videos can I send you a week? These are things to ask, because depending on how much support you need, you might need more support than that coach's current structure is going to allow, right? If you're having live sessions, just like knowing like, what is that, like the structure of the remote sessions look like? The live sessions, what does a live session look like? What does it feel like? What are we going to be doing? Like, what's the agenda or itinerary? Do you support me with a warm up and cool down, or is that on my own? Is the session 60 minutes? Or is it 45 or 30 minutes? I find, just a side note, I find that 45 minutes is a really great sweet spot for most people, because you can do your warm up and or cool down on your own. Most people are able to do that pretty effectively, especially after they've learned some things on their own, and then just do like the real meat of the workout with the coach in 45 minutes. Or your time with your coach is like really focused in on like a skill, and then you have like your homework, right? So I find 45-minute sessions can be like a nice little sweet spot, makes it a little bit more accessible for you time wise, and it's typically more financially accessible than the 60-minute sessions. It just makes it typically a little bit less than a 60-minute session. So that's something else to ask. Asking about how payment is done. Do you get a package of sessions? When do they expire? Right? Or is it like a monthly payment where you pay every month, and during the month you get up to this many sessions in the month? What else is included like in that session, like in that monthly fee? Another thing you want to think about asking is if you are somebody who is also interested in having some nutrition coaching. It's really important that you ask the trainer if they are certified for nutrition coaching. Not all personal trainers are certified nutrition coaches or have even taken an additional course on nutrition. So there are people out there on the internet streets that are like, I'm giving you your personalized macros, who have never taken a nutrition course. There are lots of people who are giving out macro support who have taken nutrition courses. So just kind of getting an idea if the person is certified, and then like what their philosophy is on nutrition. Are they macro coaches? Are they are they more habit based nutrition coaches? That's like what I do. Again, are they weight loss focused with their nutrition focus? And just like getting down to the nitty gritty, like if that's something that's going to work for you or not work for you. It's really an opportunity, this first session that you have with somebody, or initial consult or discovery call. People call them all different things, right? It's an opportunity for you to get to know that person and have them answer your questions so that you can decide if it's going to be a good fit. It's also an opportunity for the coach slash trainer to get to know you and if you are a good fit for them. And yes, these initial consults, these first sessions are essentially a sales call. The person you're looking to move into a service relationship, an agreement where you are going to be paying this person to provide a service for you. So there is going to be a conversation about, so, hey, do you want to sign up? This is what it would look like. Here are the next steps, right? So sometimes people are surprised when they come onto that like 20-minute consult and it's like, but then they tried to sell me. Well, yes, that it's an opportunity. It's an interview to see if you're going to be a good fit to work together. So just know that. And I think for you to feel prepared walking into that session or Zoom call or whatever, prepared with the questions that you want to ask the person is going to help you feel like a little bit more in the driver's seat, which to be honest, you should feel like you're in the driver's seat in this relationship because it is your body, it is your goals. The coach and trainer, while we have certifications and we have experience and we know some best practices, literally nobody knows your body better than you. It is your body. Nobody knows your goals better than you, even if it's going to take you some time to kind of get them out and come to fruition, right? A coach during these sessions shouldn't be trying to force you into a goal or force you into a service or that feels uncomfortable or doesn't feel like it's going to be a good fit. It should always be okay for you to say, I'm going to think about it, or I'm talking to a couple of other people too. I'll get back to you. And likewise, if you don't respond within a couple of days. So what I typically say to somebody is I'll be like, you know what, think about it. Here's the rate for what I think would be a good fit for you. Right. Because I like I said earlier, I offer live sessions, I offer programming, and I offer remote coaching. So I try to figure out when I'm talking to the person, what feels like it's going to be like kind of the best fit for them to support them to reach their goals. And then I say, go and think about it. And then usually I send within the next 24 hours, like a little summary. Here's the rate. Here's the cost. Here's what I'm thinking. What questions do you have? And sometimes a person comes back and will say, well, I was actually thinking maybe instead of the live sessions, we could do remote coaching. And I say, let's give it a go. Right. And then I send them that information. So there should be some sort of follow up afterwards. But if you say, no, thank you, I don't think we're going to be a good fit. If that person reaches out one time just to kind of circle back, sure, but they shouldn't be like pushing on you, like, you should hire me, you should hire me, you should hire me. Does that make sense? It's like this fine line of a follow up and a pushiness. So, anyways, I hope this was helpful. This episode was a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be, but there's so much nuance because personal training is not the way it was 10, 15, 20 years ago, right? When like this idea of you would go to the gym, you'd have a 60-minute session, the person would give you a workout, and then you're on your merry way. Now there's so many different designs of what somebody's coaching could look like that you have so many options that it can be super overwhelming. Do you want live sessions? Do you want small group coaching? Do you want one-on-one coaching? Do you want programming? Right? Finding somebody who's going to be the best fit for you can take some time and take some work, but it's really going to be worth it because when you find the right person to work with, so it can be a really, really beautiful thing. So if you have any questions, or if you actually have a question that you think somebody else should be asking when they're looking for a coach or trainer, send me an email, strongandsimplepodcast@gmail.com, so that we can share that, Marissa and I can share that with everybody, because I'm sure if you have looked for a trainer, if you have looked for a coach, if you're currently working with an amazing coach, would love to hear what questions you maybe ask them, or maybe if you've had some not such great experiences, what questions do you wish you had known to ask ahead of time, right? So with that, I'm going to leave you here. I hope this was helpful. Again, reach out with any questions or any ideas, anything that maybe I missed today. And I do have a couple of openings for one-on-one coaching. And because we're leading into the summer, the structure looks a little different than what it sometimes looks, even if you want live sessions. So reach out to me if you want live sessions or programming or like a remote coaching option. I have a couple of openings, kind of leading us through the spring and into summer. So if you'd love to work with me, I'd probably love to work with you. If you're somebody who's listening to this, you're probably my people. So, all right, with that, I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.